Training camp has arrived, and now it's time for your Philadelphia Eagles to cash that check. Rinse due. If you clicked on this video, 9 times out of 10, you're trying to figure out what are the key narratives to follow during training camp this year. And I'm going to tell you, ultimately, there's so many things to discuss around his team, and there's so many unknowns. Will A.J. Brown be able to provide the impact that we think he can? Will Devontae Smith take his game to another level? Will Jalen Hurts take his game to another level? What do we know about Nick Sirianni in the long term? Jonathan Gannon's defense. There are so many questions. There are so many storylines that require answers, and we're going to talk about them. So let's get excited. Storyline number one, obviously, Jalen Hurts. Now, Jalen Hurts had a pretty decent season last year, could have been way better, and we all understand what Jalen Hurts has to do to take his game to another level. He needs to increase his accuracy. He needs to throw with more anticipation. He needs to be more decisive in the pocket. He needs to learn to trust what he sees and learn how to read defenses. Now, that list may sound long, and on top of that, it may seem like a tall feat, but Jalen Hurts is somebody that I really have faith in. I have faith in his work ethic. I have faith in his commitment to the game and his teammates, and that's something I'm willing to bet on. Do I expect Jalen Hurts to improve? Absolutely. How much will he improve? That is the million-dollar question, because that's what everyone's banking on. That's what this entire season for the Philadelphia Eagles hinges on. It hinges on Jalen Hurts taking his game to another level, and we don't know what that's going to be. Training camp, we're going to be able to see if he's improved his footwork, if he's improved certain mechanics, but ultimately, we're never going to know how good he's gotten, how much his game has improved until he gets into real game speed. And that's something we have to keep our eye out for. But overall, Jalen Hurts' narrative is one that's one of the more exciting, one of the more questioned, one of the most highly anticipated, because we have no idea where this guy's going to take the Eagles, but I'm along for the ride. Storyline number two is the position battle at the safety position. We know we have guys like Marcus Epps, Anthony Harris, and we signed Jaquiski Tartt, and those guys are going to be competing for that spot. Now, Marcus Epps is the young gun, someone who's really made a name for himself in this organization. Now, he still has a lot to prove, don't get it twisted, but Marcus Epps has shown an ability to come in and make things happen and also force turnovers here and there and just play the position very well. He plays fast, he's rangy, and he's someone who's on the up and up. Then you think about guys like Anthony Harris and Jaquiski Tartt, guys that are veterans, guys that have led the league in interceptions like Anthony Harris, and a guy who has been on Super Bowl caliber, NFC Championship caliber defense, and Jaquiski Tartt when he was with the San Francisco 49ers. All these guys have something that's ringing bells in the organization, but overall, only two of these guys are going to be the main guys when it comes to that safety position. Will they rotate Anthony Harris or Jaquiski Tartt or Marcus Epps in situational packages? You never really know. But overall, that's something I'm going to be paying close attention to. Who's going to be the main safeties when it's all said and done? I personally believe it's going to be Marcus Epps and Jaquiski Tartt. We'll see what happens, but overall, that safety position is not locked in at all. Number three, Jalen Reagor's career. Is it possible for Jalen Reagor to salvage what's left? He's been in the league for 2 years, going on 3 years this season, and I got to be honest, he hasn't shown too much of anything that you can really get behind or really hold in high regard. He's made plenty of mistakes. He's not been reliable. I don't really know what it is. He's had several off the field issues come up. Nothing as far as his behavior goes, but more so just losing family members, things like that. And it seems like he needs a fresh start. I don't know if he's ever going to really reach his peak or really take advantage of his talent in Philadelphia. But Jalen Reagor is somebody that I'm going to be watching. As of right now, Jalen Reagor isn't even a wide receiver 3 or 4 in his roster. A.J. Brown's the 1, Devontae's the 2. Quez Watkins and Zach Pascal are going to rotate between that 3 and that 4. And then he still has to battle guys like Greg Ward, has to battle guys like Britton Colby, Devin Allen, guys like that who are trying to make this roster in a special teams role. And that's pretty much all Jalen Reagor has left to really hold his to hang his hat on. Do I expect Jalen Reagor to make this roster? I think he will, for the simple fact that there's a lot of money involved, and I don't see this team cutting him and taking that cap hit. But again, he has to compete with guys, and he hasn't really earned too much favor in his organization. Nick Sirianni has bent over backwards to try to find ways to use this guy and include him in the offense, and Jalen Reagor just couldn't really get it done. So I'm not sure what his future holds, but that's something I'm going to be paying quite closely attention to. Number 4, the linebacker position battles. Now, I know a lot of people think this is already set in stone, but let's be honest about it. Guys like Kaiser White, Nakobe Dean, TJ Edwards, those guys are going to be battling. Even Davion Taylor. Davion Taylor is a player who was starting to catch fire towards the middle of the season, and he started to find his rhythm. He started to actually get to the right spots. A lot of people used to always say that Davion Taylor is the first one to the wrong spot. But he was starting to become the first one to the right spot, and Davion Taylor was just trending in the right direction, but he got offset by injuries. So who knows what he'll be able to do? Will he be able to knock off a guys like Kaiser White? I personally believe that TJ Edwards will be the starter at the beginning of the season, and as the season progresses, and Nakobe Dean shows that he's the man for the job, he may potentially start to take snaps from TJ Edwards, or maybe even take snaps from Kaiser White. The good thing about this situation is the Philadelphia Eagles actually have linebacker talent. And it's been a long time since we've even been able to have our pick of the litter when it comes to starting our linebackers. Now, because of where the NFL is today, 9 times out of 10, you're only going to see maybe 2 linebackers on the field at a time. I'm not including Hassan Reddick in this group because Hassan Reddick is going to be an edge rusher. He's going to be asked to stand up and rush off the edge, and he's not really going to be used in that linebacker role. More so going to be that pass rusher, that edge rusher role. That's what he does best. That's why we brought him here. But Kaiser White, TJ Edwards, Davion Taylor, and Nakobe Dean, those guys are going to battle. And a lot of people are really high on Nakobe Dean. I am as well, but I'm also high on TJ Edwards. And I really believe that all this talent in the linebacker room is going to make guys actually take their games to another level. For a long time, the linebacker room has been devoid of talent, and there's always been one guy that's been able to make things happen. Even he's been mediocre. But TJ Edwards has shown that he's a starting linebacker in his NFL. Is he a starting linebacker on the championship team? I'm not sure. But on this Philadelphia Eagles team, he's shown that he's reliable. He understands angles. He knows how to defend the run. He's smart. He knows how to put guys exactly where they need to be, and he's patient. And Nakobe Dean's going to have to work hard to really knock him off. But overall, the linebacker position battle is something I'm really keen in, and I'm excited to see that and how it turns out. Finally, the final narrative or the final storyline for the Philadelphia Eagles entering training camp is the battle for right guard, and that's between Isaac Samalu and my man, what's his name? Jack Driscoll. Excuse me. Jack Driscoll is someone who's shown he's a reliable talent. He's a swing tackle, swing guard. Wherever you need him to play, he'll play it. But health has been an issue for him. And then the same thing goes for Isaac Samalu. You can put him at the center. You can put him at the guard spot. That's his specialty. But again, he's someone who hasn't really been able to really show a constant build of good health as well. So I'm curious to see how that pans out. I really think it's going to end up being Isaac Samalu, because I think Jack Driscoll is more valuable in that rotational role, swinging between guard and tackle. But nonetheless, I truly believe that the Philadelphia Eagles are never devoid of talent at the offensive line. No matter what they do or no matter who wins the job, we're going to be good to go. And I'm excited about what these guys have had to bring to the table. But, the narratives for this training camp is exciting. I'm really excited to see where this team goes. Now, you guys, we can't get too excited about what we see in training camp sometimes. There's some guys who have bad camps, but once they get to the field, they lights out. There's guys that have great camps, like Jalen Reagor last season, and then once the game tape really started rolling, he couldn't really get it done and couldn't perform. So we need to curb our expectations in what we see and what we hear and what we read when it comes to the Eagles training camp, because there are going to be some people who over exaggerate. There are going to be some reporters who flat out don't tell honest takes or give an honest perspective. You're going to have people who are, pretty unbiased and pretty objective in how they give their opinions. There are many people in media, and they all have a significant role, but we all have to be careful on how we consume that information, because it's going to be up to us to really interpret what exactly they're seeing and what they're saying. But again, don't put too much stock in what you hear, what you see, what you read. At the end of the day, we're not going to know nothing. We're not going to know anything until the season starts and we see these guys at game speed when the bullets start flying. And I'll leave it at that. Comment below and tell me what you guys think. What are your top 5 storylines entering training camp for the Philadelphia Eagles? Comment below, smash that like button, and also make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're new to the content. I'm your humble host, Tone the Shields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or lose, we just got to charge it to the game. One love, stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry.